Welcome back to the fifth part of our Lovecraft Country recap. This part is a story of its own and can be watched without having seen the other parts. In the fall of 1949, Jia is at a local theater in Daegu, South Korea, watching a Judy Garland movie called Meet Me in St. Louis. She gets up from her seat and starts to sing along with the movie, dancing like straight out of a JoJo Siwa concert. At home, Jia hums the same song in front of her mirror, then heads outside where her mother, Soon-hee, lets her taste the kimchi she just made. Jia talks about how once she graduates from nursing school, they'll be able to afford a lot of cabbage, but for now they can always get kimchi from their neighbors. Her mother gets angry because they haven't been invited to the neighbors for years since her husband died. Jia says that her nursing degree will bring respect back to the family. Her mother says the only way to bring honor back is to bring home more men. Jia looks disappointed, but reluctantly agrees. Just like Mulan, bringing honor back to the family, but this, the Ho version. In her nursing class, students talk about Youngjia going out with a guy named Hyun Tai. The girls are excited to know what went on last night. Jia just listens and longs for a romantic relationship of her own. Girl, it's okay. You got a whole-ass cadaver on the table to use. She later attends a speed dating event so she can bring a man home. She tries really hard and calls some random-ass dude intelligent. And then she recites American pop culture. But the dude annoyed because they were colonized by the Japanese for so long. Luckily, some other dude is into Judy Garland. But baby Judy Garland is usually for the gays. He tasting the rainbow for sure. The guy seems to be interested in her, but Youngjia takes the man home instead. Youngjia invites Jia to join them, insulting her in the process, saying these engineering guys would not be interested in her. Bitch, she gonna slap you so hard, you gonna end up in a K-pop group. Jia says her mother demands her to bring a man home, but is unable to. Little Miss Steal Your Man says to not let her mother's fear shape her. At a bar, Jia meets Byung, a man she decides to bring home and get intimate with. After they're done, 9 tails emerge from Jia's body and pierces through Byung. Yo, why it looked like it went in his booty hole? Even her eyes got some furry tails coming out. Before he dies, Jia sees all of his memories. Boy was married and had a child. Then the body explodes and only leaves a pool of blood. Soon he enters the room and asks for 10 more men. The way I would love it if my mother told me this in my younger years because I was feral. It's now the summer of 1950 and Jia is watching a propaganda cartoon commercial when all of a sudden everything starts to shake because I'm doing jumping jacks. As she leaves the theater, the American army arrives to fight in the Korean War against North Korea. Of course, they send out pamphlets to convince them they're there to fight for their freedoms. On her birthday, Soon-hee makes Jia her favorite dish. Jia recalls that Soon-hee's husband's favorite dish was anchovies since she consumed him and his memories. Soon-hee gets visibly upset and says to never mention him again, then scolds her for not bringing a man home for a month. Jia says it's because of the war most men are injured, so Soon-hee suggests to bring an American soldier home as they're just like the Japanese anyway. Jia only needs 2 more souls to consume, and all the memories that she absorbed will be gone forever. Soon-hee says the shaman told her that consuming 100 souls will release the 9-tailed spirit, and Jia can be human again. With a body count like that, I'm surprised they kept count. At the hospital, Jia and Youngjia deal with an unruly patient that twists Jia's arm. Youngjia helps her out with the patient. Later, Jia sees Youngjia whispering to Il-sung. Later, they walk home together and Jia asks her if Il-sung and her are going out. Jia mentions that she knows they're both communists. Youngjia is alarmed and tells her to never speak about this to anyone. During their conversation, a mob gathers and hangs a man for being a communist. Youngjia looks worried and says that being different shouldn't warrant a death sentence. Jia notices an American soldier who smiles back at her, so she brings him home. She consumes him faster than I inhale my food. Soon after the deed, Soon-hee says Jia only needs 1 more while she cleans up the blood. Jia says that Kumiho, the 9-tailed fox spirit, was summoned by Soon-hee. Soon-hee asks Kumiho to kill her husband because he was hurting the real Jia. The Kumiho asks Soon-hee about all the different types of love and says Soon-hee's husband loved Jia the same way. But Soon-hee protests and says the kind of love her husband had for Jia was wrong. Kumiho says she doesn't understand because she doesn't feel any love and doesn't plan on taking another soul. She says that she's seen 99 lifetimes and sees more bad than good. Kumiho no longer wants to be part of it. Soon-hee cries and says she just wants her daughter back. She didn't realize Kumiho would possess her daughter. The Kumiho starts to sing a song that Jia used to sing. Kumiho said that it was the song Jia would sing while Soon-hee's husband took advantage of Jia. Kumiho only knows the song through the husband's memories and has no memory of being Jia. Soon he says she can see a little bit of her daughter in there, but is deeply disturbed by Kumiho's recollection of the rape. Kumiho says her husband specifically chose Soon-hee because he knew he could manipulate her and allow him to take advantage of his daughter. Soon-hee tells Kumiho to stop and slams the sliding door. If my daughter had to go through that, I'm not summoning no spirit. I'm killing that man right there. Later, Jia, Youngjia, and a group of nurses arrive at an American military checkpoint. Supposedly, someone from the group has been leaking info to the communists. The girls are lined up, and after no one confesses to being the mole, the officer shoots and kills one of the nurses. He goes to the next nurse, and before he can shoot, the gun jams. Atticus is called to shoot the nurse, and he does, splashing some of the blood onto Jia. Atticus is about to shoot Jia, but Youngjia intervenes and confesses she's the spy. Youngjia is knocked unconscious and taken away. Jia begs them not to take her away. It's the fall of 1950, and the theater has been closed for a while, leaving Jia no form of entertainment. Girl, just get on TikTok and do them dances. At the hospital, Jia notices Atticus is brought in. Enraged, she goes outside into the rain to calm herself. She then goes back to watch him suffer through his injuries. Isn't it interesting to see this perspective where Atticus is viewed as a villain? At home, Jia tells her mother that she will be taking her last soul after all, and it will be Atticus, the soldier at the hospital. The next day, Jia changes Atticus's bedsheets. Atticus helps her out. Atticus complains about losing his glasses during a bombing and asks Jia if she could read him the last few chapters of The Count of Monte Cristo he was reading. Jia spoils the ending for him, thinking it's the same ending as the movie, but Atticus says they're different. Eventually, Atticus introduces his friend Chung to Jia. Jia talks about a movie called Summer Stock that she wanted to see, but the theater had been shut down. Then she wonders if they ever met Judy Garland. The guys laugh because they're just minorities in America, and Judy is a famous white woman. Atticus says colored folks are mistreated. Chung talks about how he was drafted by the army and has no choice to fight for two countries that don't care about him. Even though he's Korean, his own people in Korea don't like him. Atticus says they both have something in common. She escapes reality in movies and Atticus in books. Eventually, Jia agrees to read the book to Atticus. Atticus admits that he chose the book because it was his father's favorite, even though they don't talk anymore. Jia empathizes and says her mother wants her to become someone she's not. Atticus admits that he likes Jia exactly how she is, and even says his father wants him to be someone else as well. Jia then says they shouldn't let their parents' fear shape them, an advice that her best friend Youngjia told her once. Atticus said he would like to meet this friend. Jia looks away knowing that her friend is gone. Later, Chung brings Jia to base and admits that Koreans are no longer allowed there unless they're comfort women, meaning they gotta be hoeing for the army. He leaves Jia alone where Atticus has arranged them to watch the movie Summer Stock together. Eventually, Jia takes him to her house where they get intimate. Atticus says it's his first time and is happy Jia sees the good in him. Kang being a virgin in this multiverse is shocking. Jia starts to get second thoughts about taking Atticus's life, so she tells him to leave. Soon he is pissed about the situation, even after Jia says she has developed real feelings for Atticus. And soon he wonders how she can fall for anyone who killed her best friend Youngjia. Miss Soon-hee, please. Jonathan Major's yummy. Anyone would fall for him. The next day, Jia confronts Atticus about what they did to Youngjia, and Atticus said she was a communist sympathizer and he was just following orders. Atticus wonders why she even agreed to go out with him, and Jia tells him her true intent of wanting to end him, but then developing feelings for him. She says they don't have to be monsters, even though they've both done monstrous things. Atticus cries, then the two swap tuberculosis. They go inside the movie room and make sweet, sweet Korean fried chicken. Jia tells Soon-hee what has transpired and the love she has for Atticus. But Soon-hee says her true nature will show. Since she's a Kumiho, she will eventually kill Atticus. Soon-hee adds Atticus only cares about Jia because he doesn't know what she really is. Or maybe Atticus really likes kimchi. Eventually, winter has come and they're getting closer each day. As she reads the story of Kumiho, Atticus says he earned enough points to go home. Atticus notices her reaction and says he can stay. However, Jia knows he could not ask this of him since he hates the war. The two are about to make love, and her tails start to come out, and she tries her best to stop it. It eventually latches onto Atticus. She sees his past, getting whooped by Dad, pulling out Youngja's teeth through torture, and his future. Then she manages to avoid killing him by throwing him. Jia warns Atticus about his death if he goes back to America, but he's too freaked out, then rushes to leave permanently. Boy was too freaked out by his girl violating all of his holes. Soon he comes home and sees Jia crying, so she comforts her. The next day, they go to the shaman. Jia sees a fox and makes eye contact with it. She wonders, what does the fox say? Then Jia tells the shaman what she saw in her vision and wonders if Atticus will really die. The shaman says her mortal concerns are meaningless. The shaman lights a piece of paper on fire, then holds it up. She tells Jia she hasn't become one with the darkness yet, and there will be countless deaths before her journey's over. Jia looks at the burnt pieces of paper. The screen fades and the episode ends. What did y'all think of this episode? Miss Thing over here really grew out of her reality TV days in real-world San Diego.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.